They are all morning, and so I'm going to move. I'll try to speak loud if I can. I heard that all the brains in Catoosa County were going to be here tonight, and so I intend to go where the brains are. So I appreciate y'all having me here. It's groups like this that make America great. The fact that we can freely gather, we can freely exchange ideas, we can talk about tough things in our country and do that freely without risk of oppression. And those are things we have to continue to fight for. If you remember, Ben Franklin, as he was leaving the Constitutional Convention, was asked, he said, what form of government do we have? And he says, it's a republic, sir, if you can keep it. And I think things like this and what we're doing by me stepping out to run and Mr. Cook stepping out to run are ways that we go out in front of people and say, we're going to fight for freedom. We're going to fight that we can keep this republic that has been fought so hard for us to gain and earn. I grew up in Northwest Georgia, spent my formative years on my grandfather's cattle farm. I learned to sling hay bales and shoot a shotgun at a very early age. I learned the importance of hard work, learned that you've got to fix a tin roof before about 6 in the morning or it becomes a hot tin roof. And through all of that, I learned the importance of education. My father was a physician, my mom was a lifelong educator. I went to Davidson College, went to Johns Hopkins. I trained under Ben Carson. He's been a lifelong friend of mine, great individual. He inspired me into neurosurgery, trained at University of Michigan there with some great folks, and then came back to Floyd County to practice medicine. My wife's an anesthesiologist, practices there. She's on the state's opioid task force and has been a real advocate for trying to stem the drug epidemic that is costing so many lives in this state. We have 4 children aged from 9 to 15 years of age. My biggest thing I can say about them is they all know Jesus Christ and they love Him, and they are His little lights in the world. And whether they become a neurosurgeon or a cattle farmer or whatever, I know that they are going to be a light in this world because of who they know and who they follow. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, why do you want to do this? I mean, like, really, why do you want to do this? And people genuinely are concerned for me that I want to actually do this. They say, you're a business leader. I started a toy company, international toy company 4 years ago in our community. Employ people there. We send containers to and from China. I have toys that get sold in Denmark and Italy and all over the country now. Why do you want to do this? I have a great medical practice. I'm a leader in our church. I'm very involved in economic development. I have a batting cage that a good friend of mine, Dennis Lemming, runs. I have a little sports academy. I even have an ice cream store that I started. You're getting the picture that I don't sleep a lot, right, guys? I mean, it's true. I said, why do you want to do this? And the more I think about it, Tarvin. Now, Tarvin, listen, hold on. We're supposed to be a positive campaign, and I know you're not on my side right now. I know you're not on my side, but come on, don't show the microphone. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm going to get him to vote for me, I'm telling you. Right now, I'm going to get him to vote for me, okay? So they said, why do you want to do this? And the more I prayed on it and more I thought about it, it is a sad day in America when people like me, when people like you, ordinary citizens who aren't political opportunists, who aren't career politicians, who aren't political activists, stay home, enjoy the fruits of our freedom, and do not step out and run. That is why I'm running. Because I should not be running. Because I shouldn't want to get dirty in this political process. I should want to stay home in my great career and be with my family all the time and not have to go to D.C. to the gates of Caesarea Philippi. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I should want to stay and run my batting cages and my ice cream store and things like that. But that is not what the founders intended. The founders intended that folks like us, who are at the top of our game, who are serving and doing great in their community, recognize the importance of protecting those freedoms. That First Amendment right to free speech, to freedom of religion. That Second Amendment right, which is what protects that First Amendment right. The right to life in this country. The reason we have all of these problems in this country is because people like me don't run. They don't take that leap of faith. They don't stop their careers and say, I'm going to serve. And what we have is we have career politicians, we have political opportunists We have people who are activists going up there and running, and this is the mess we're in. And so when people say, why are you running? I say, I have to run. You have to run. The folks who announced here tonight, they have to run. Because if we don't, our country dies. And we don't get to keep the republic that was so hard fought for us. So I'm asking you to look at other people on the campus, and I don't doubt that they love Jesus. I don't doubt that they, want to protect the Second Amendment, and they're not patriots. But let's look at the body, the life's work, that each of our candidates have done, and who's stepping out in a leap of faith in the way that our founders intended to go run, and who will go up as a servant leader, go up to D.C., get the work done, not for self-gain or self-service, but to serve this district, who's lived in this district their whole life, who understands the importance of a small town. Each of these counties has a small town built in it. It's got its own economy. It's got its own heartbeat. I went to Cartersville High School. I played against Northwest Whitfield. I wrestled up in Trenton. I played against Lafayette. I ran track over in Coosa. I know the guys at Bremen. My kids play lacrosse against them. I know how fierce that competition is. I know the flooring industry. I know the healthcare industry. All of these things are so important in our district. They're part of my DNA. I grew up in them. And that's why I feel at this moment in my life, at this time, that I'm the right person to serve you in Congress. So I thank you for this time. I thank you for your vote, your prayers, your consideration. And God bless America. God bless our president.